And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Tuesday, March 6th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain, and many of the stories we read here you can find at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of those stories from the day. Yesterday, March 5th, everyone had their ear to the new moccasin telegraph called social media. The networks, telephones, and word-of-mouth networks, along with photos being posted, were abuzz with reports of Oglala Lakota members preventing oil pipeline materials destined for Canadian tar sands and or the Keystone XL infrastructure locations from being transported across the Pine Ridge Reservation. According to many reports, including those posted by Deborah and Alex Whiteplume, semi-trucks loaded with enormous oil pipeline components were set to cross Oglala territory sometime during the afternoon on March 5th. A call went out via digital media. Participants were mobilized near Wombly, South Dakota, and for an impromptu gathering, blocked the road with their bodies to prevent semi-trucks and pipeline components from crossing there. Within minutes, the confrontation happened as several state and tribal police officers and other officials responded to the tense scene. Mr. Whiteplume was taken into custody and was released later. The Canadian tar sands bound Texas semi-trucks transporting $1.25 million treater vessels used in oil, gas, and element separation were stopped in their tracks as they approached the human roadblock. The human roadblock featured two Lakota grandmothers, Ione Bad Cobb, who's in her wheelchair, and Marie Rando, who's in her late 80s. One of the drivers responded that they did not know they were crossing Indian land, only that they were following company directives regarding their assigned routes. According to several reports circulating, the heavy hauling trucks were allegedly cutting through Oglala country in an attempt to avoid a $50,000 fee by bypassing state of South Dakota way stations. A Minnesota tribe has awarded $1.2 million in grants to benefit the Yankton Sioux Tribe of Marty for fiscal year 2012. The money comes from the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux Community, which operates a Minnesota casino and other enterprises and runs a charitable giving program. The Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux Community says $1 million will go to the Yankton Sioux Tribe, while a $250,000 grant will go to the Boys and Girl Clubs of the Missouri River area. The Press and Dakotan newspaper reports that the Shakopee tribe has provided the Yankton Sioux with more than $9.8 million in grants since 2001. As representatives of the province and various mining companies participate in the annual Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada conference this week in Toronto, Ontario, First Nations continue to wait for dialogue regarding their treaty and traditional territories. The Anishinaabe Nation Grand Council Chief Patrick Mdewakanton called on the Ontario government to make the first move. The Ontario government is aware that First Nations territories expand beyond their reserves, says Mdewakanton. In fact, most of Ontario is subject to First Nation treaty and traditional lands consideration. In January 2012, the Wagoshig First Nation was granted an injunction over mining activities by the Solid Gold Mining Company. The Ontario Superior Court noted that Solid Gold had begun drilling and exploration but failed to consult with First Nations. From the court ruling, it said this: the duty to consult and accommodate, which is at the heart of this injunction motion, resides in the honor of the Crown. While the Crown may delegate operational aspects of the duty to third parties, such as Solid Gold, the Crown bears the ultimate legal responsibility to see that that duty is fulfilled. The Mississippi Band of Choctaw's new chief is also the face of the tribe's new casino advertising campaign, quote, Vegas with sweet tea, unquote. Phyliss Anderson tells the Clarion Ledger that she was hesitant because she has never done an ad before. She had to carve out some time to shoot the ad amid busy budget negotiations. Anderson said it's too early to tell whether the ads are bringing any new business, but she said she is getting recognized by more people. The ad campaign is part of her work to remake the tribe's image. In the months before Anderson took office, the FBI raided the tribe's casino, and Moody's Investors Service downgraded the $200 million in casino bonds to junk status. The Nez Perce Tribe in northern Idaho has broken ground on a $16 million expansion of the Clearwater River Casino. The Lewiston Tribune reports that the event last Friday was for the 35,000 square foot expansion to add a new event center and 200 gaming machines. The Nez Perce Tribal Executive Council Chairman Brooklyn Baptiste says it was a big day for the tribe. He says the expansion will benefit tribal members as well as pump money into the regional economy. Work is expected to take up to 14 months. The Ho-Chunk Nation's leader is set to deliver the annual State of the Tribes address to the Wisconsin legislature later this month. Ho-Chunk President John Greendeer is scheduled to speak before a joint session of the Assembly and Senate on March 13th. He plans to focus on the needs of the 11 tribes that reside in Wisconsin, including healthcare, education, and economic development. Ceremonies leading up to the address will include an American Indian drum and honor song, a procession outside the state capitol, and an invocation. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of Native News Update. Wyawannon and Miigwech for joining with us, and come back again soon.